It's Thursday, July 21st, 2017. I'm your host, Sarah Mantle. We have a great show in store for you today. First up, the Maritime Museum is bringing back its Pirate Ball. We're going to learn more about that with organizer Amanda Converse. Then we'll talk with Recreation Director Patty Machado about continued lifeguard training. And finally, we'll chat with Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis about how to keep our pets safe during the hot summer season. All of that on this episode of Barnstable Today. But first, let's go ahead and get a look at today's top headlines. Town Council approved spending $1.8 million to repair 3 private roads in Osterville. The roads to be repaired include Beach Plum Hill Road, Smoke Valley Road, Ice Valley Road, and Fox Island Road. Council also approved a measure that allows the town to regulate and restrict the use of land and structures for educational purposes. That includes group homes for recovering addicts. Governor Charlie Baker's Council to Address Aging in Massachusetts wants to hear from residents. The group hopes to hear ideas about how to make Massachusetts the most livable state for people of all ages. To do that, they will host a listening session at the Barnstable Senior Center Tuesday, July 25th from 9 to 11. The event is free and open to the public. All are encouraged to attend. Barnstable Public Schools may soon hire a full-time attorney. The school committee voted to post the position and begin accepting resumes during its meeting this week. During the search, the school system will continue to utilize a private firm for any legal matters. The town of Barnstable will host a memorial ceremony in honor of the Korean War next week. The armistice that formally ended the Korean War was signed on July 27th in 1953 at 10 a.m. The town will hold its ceremony at 10 a.m. Thursday, July 27th in honor of that significant moment in history. All are welcome to attend. The ceremony will be held at the Korean War Memorial at Veterans Beach in Hyannis. Up next, we have our weekly Arts and Culture segment.
I'm here with Amanda Converse, the event organizer of the Pirate Ball this year. So it hasn't been happening for 5 years, so what's the new comeback with it?
The comeback is, well, we've planned a really exciting event. This year, it'll be on the back patio of the Maritime Museum overlooking Hyannis Harbor, and we definitely encourage people to dress up in pirate garb or Viking garb or mermaid garb. And so costumes encouraged, and then we're going to have a DJ who's going to set the scene with the type of music that pirates would listen to, and he's going to find that out. And we have a comedian, Preston Simpson, who is going to MC the whole event. So basically, like, kind of elevating the event and getting people really involved in playing the games that we have, and drinking the grog that we're making with Truro Vineyards 20 Boat Rum. And yeah, it's just going to be a great, really fun night outside on the back patio of the Maritime Museum, dancing and having fun.
So where can people get tickets, and what's the date for this fun event?
So the date is Saturday, July 29th, and people can go to capecodmaritimemuseum.org to buy tickets, and tickets are $50.
So has it always been a pirate theme, or is this just like the new theme?
They had always had a pirate theme, because people love a theme. Adults love being kids for a night, so they've always had a pirates theme, and I'm just really happy they're bringing it back.
I'm here with Executive Director of the Cape Cod Maritime Museum, Chris Galazzi. Thank you for being with us today.
Hi, Megan. Thanks for coming to the museum. It's really great to have you.
Thanks.
I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about what's happening at the museum. Upstairs, we have a $2 million John Stobart exhibit. John's a world-recognized artist, and his artwork hasn't been all in one place like this since it left his studio. So it's really a special treat for people who enjoy maritime art. And downstairs, we're building boats with local youth and young adults and teaching them the maritime trades and skills that they can use to go work at local boatyards across the Cape. There's still over 25 boatyards building boats on Cape Cod. A lot of folks don't know that.
That's amazing. So how do the pirates tie in to the Maritime Museum?
Yeah, so while we're attracting artists like John Stobart and his fantastic artwork that keeps people engaged in understanding what the working harbors look like, not only in New England but across the world, and teaching these maritime skills that lead potentially to employment in local boatyards. We also kind of like to have some fun, and we have to fund these operations. So this is an opportunity to get some pirates or some wannabe pirates to come to the museum, drink some of our special spiced rum, which we make here at the museum, and then enjoy an evening of revelry and other pirate-type activities here at the museum, so that visitors can see what we're doing, enjoy the museum. They'll be able to bring their beverages up into the museum and look around and enjoy everything that we've done here over the last 15 years that we've been in existence, and really get a sense of the work that we're doing, both with internationally acclaimed exhibits and maritime skill building down in our boat shop.
That's awesome that this pirate event gala really helps bring in more of the locals and really shows that you're helping with the community and sustaining old customs with boat building. So that's amazing that you guys are doing that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're really excited about it. I mean, the big question for us is, how does a museum remain relevant to its community in the 21st century? And we answer that question by really reaching out to all of the members of our community, whether you enjoy fine art or you're excited about boat building, you want to come see Pete Culler's shop and the tools that he used to build boats 2 blocks from here, not more than a couple of decades ago. So very recent history, and yet almost a different time in terms of the perspective on boat building and relevance to the community. And so we want to share that with our community, and we hope that they'll come down and be a pirate for the night with us and take a look at what's happening at this museum, and how they can participate and connect not only with the museum but with the rest of our shared community in preserving, promoting, and protecting the maritime history of Cape Cod, not only the past but also the future. And we hope will you come? Are you going to come?
I hope so. It sounds like a
hope.
blast.
What is hope? No, that's not a plan. I want a hard commitment. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Then that way everybody else can come and join us. I'll be here as well.
It's a perfect blend of past, present, and future with pirates and the museum.
That's right.
Sounds like a great time. Thank you so much.
One thing I wanted to add, we are running a fundraising promotion, which will be active the night of the Pirates Ball.
Awesome.
If you really would like to get a bang for your buck, bring 50 of those bucks to the museum, and we'll let you fire the museum cannon.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're going to have a lot of fun that night, and we hope you'll come and be part of the fun. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us once again. This was Chris Galazzi and Amanda Converse with us here at the Cape Cod Maritime Museum. And if you want to buy tickets or find out more information, you can go to the Cape Cod Maritime Museum website. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks
for coming.
The Recreation Division makes sure the town's beaches are staffed with highly trained lifeguards. We're going to learn more about that process with Recreation Director Patty Machado. So Patty, so glad you could stop by with us today. I know it's been a pretty busy summer at local beaches, especially during some really great weather days.
The weather days have been July 4th every time the sun's out. It turns into July 4th all over again.
Everyone's like, it's time to head to the beach. So how many staff members does it take to run the beaches over the summer with lifeguards and gate attendants?
Well, we have 102 lifeguards. We have anywhere from 40, and then we have some part-time. It's 40 positions at the gates, and then we have 15 beach aides, and we have 12 beach supervisors. Again, everybody kind of rotates around and covers to make sure that we have a full contingency at each site each day, and then depending on swimming lessons, that increases the staff.
I know you work very hard to make sure your lifeguards too have the best training. I know that they have to go through certification before being hired as a lifeguard, but then what happens once they are a lifeguard? Do you do any training here in the town of Barnstable?
Yes, we do pretty intense training. You come here certified, ready to work as a lifeguard. However, we also you have to still try out, which make sure that we know what your skills are. The certifications that you receive as a lifeguard are good, and they prepare you to be a lifeguard. However, they're not guaranteed that you're going to remember them each time. So you need to make sure that we're constantly going over the skills. So before you even get hired, we've tested all your skills, and we've helped make sure that you understand what the
Proper procedures for things
right,
are.
yeah. So our expectations maybe are a little bit higher than what the lifeguard training class actually teaches. And our staff, because they're waterfront, have to be able to swim a lot further. Their skills are different. They have waterfront training certifications, not just lifeguard certifications.
Interesting.
So we actually will take kids with lifeguard certifications, and then we will train them with their waterfront so they're capable to work on a waterfront with the requirements that are for that, plus Town of Barnstable requirements as well.
I can understand too, it'd be so important to have them up to speed on all of those skills because it is such a stressful job. I mean, when you were looking around, I recently went to Craigville Beach, looking around, there were so many people on the beach, it was just insane.
Right.
And thinking about the responsibility of those lifeguards in the tower, you know, it's a lot of pressure to make sure all of the people in the water are safe.
Right. And their certifications, again, are different. I mean, if you get CPR as a layperson, like all of our staff has CPR. It doesn't matter if you're a lifeguard or a gate attendant or if you're working at the HYCC or you're working at a rec program doing gymnastics. We have everybody certified in CPR, but the certifications of a lifeguard are considered professional certifications, and they are trained completely different. I mean, obviously, the whole idea behind it is the same, but their level is a lot higher in that they're able to do it together as a group. They can have, they know how to switch in and out. They know how to work with the fire departments. The fire departments are great to work with. They come down and they support our staff. So there's training with the fire departments as well, with the lifeguards and the gate attendants. Now the gate attendants may be the initial person that actually responds, but because our lifeguards are certified at a higher level, they would take over at the beach. So that's good to know, for people to know that, anywhere you go in recreation,
You can get help.
you will be able to get help. So, if you're at the HYCC, the staff there is certified. So as a result, right now we're doing the lifeguard. The procedures for the lifeguards are changing as of right now. They changed the certifications for lifeguard procedures, so we're upgrading all that. And recertifying all of those 102 lifeguards will be recertified by the end of the summer in a new standard. And then they're also learning the upgraded CPR requirements. There's been some new developments in CPR relevant to water rescue. So they're getting recertified in that. Our water safety instructors, even though they're lifeguards and they all have all those certifications, have to have an additional certification to teach. Those are being upgraded by the Red Cross as well. So we're in the process of recertifying all of our water safety staff. And then on top of that, the other 200 people that work for us are all getting recertified as well and upgraded to the new standards for CPR and first aid. So we've got massive certification going on. So every morning you come to the HYCC, you're going to see a panel of people going through a training from now and through August. So that what happens is everybody leaves us at the end of August. We wish it would be September on Labor Day, but a lot of the people are gone, and they'll all be upgraded to the new certification. So when they come back next year, we're not struggling to find certified people.
Yeah, but that was my next question. How long, once they get that new certification, how long is that last? Or when do they need to be recertified?
CPR and first aid is good for 2 years. Lifeguard training is good for 2 years, and then the CPR and first aid is in conjunction with that. The certifications for water safety instructors they're good until they upgrade, which is what's going on right now, or as long as they teach a class every 2 years. The same thing with our lifeguard trainers and our water safety instructors. So they have to teach and have to submit their class, their people to the Red Cross, and then they get upgraded. But we do all that paperwork for them.
Wow. Well, and when you're thinking about how many lifeguards and how many swimming instructors that you have, I can only imagine that would take a very long time.
Yeah, the paperwork and the Red Cross system is a little archaic, quite honestly. They're way behind the times, and I would say that certifying the staff is a joy in comparison to just trying to input the certifications into the Red Cross SABA system. I mean, they're trying to fix it, but now it's been almost 10 years with the struggle, and they just haven't gotten up to speed, and that's one of the things I'm fighting with all the time. But hopefully, that's why I'm on the Mass Recreation and Park Association and the National Recreation Park Association, trying to get them straightened out. I'm trying to help the Red Cross straighten it out so that we can get our staff. I mean, nationally, everybody's hurting for lifeguards, and there's a reason for that. People are so fed up, they're just walking away from the Red Cross, and as a result, we're all in a crisis here. And I'd love to work with the Red Cross. I mean, we worked with them for so long. We've had such a good relationship, and so I know we can get this fixed. It's just a real struggle.
Yeah. You know, there's always a challenge, isn't
Yeah.
there? Well, glad to hear that the training is so intense for lifeguards, because when you have someone that's looking over and making sure the safety of residents and beachgoers in general, it's so important to have that. So reassuring, I think, as a resident to know.
And we hope we never have to use it.
That's right.
That's the hope. We train for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, we never have to use it.
That's right. Well, thank you, Patty, for joining us today.
welcome.
We really appreciate it and look forward to chatting with you again in the near future.
Always good.
Our guest today, of course, Recreation Director Patty Machado. Now we'll chat with Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis. He has some tips on how to keep our pets safe during the hot summer season. So Charlie, it has been a very, very, very hot summer, maybe even humid, very high temperatures, maybe even more so than normal. What do we need to think about when we're thinking about our pets, making sure they're safe in this hot weather?
First thing to do is keep them cool by providing them with plenty of fresh, cold water. And of course, if they do overheat, you don't want to give them extremely cold water. And if they do overheat, you want to take and put water around them. I soak towels and just put it around them and try to cool them that way. It's important to keep their feet clean and clear. That's how they perspire through the, cool through their foot pads and also through their, breathing. So you want to keep all that stuff clear. Muzzles are not good this time of year unless you're standing next to the dog.
What are signs that a dog might be experiencing overheating?
They'll become very, like all of a sudden, very lazy, lay back, that they'll drool, they'll constantly pant, and they'll fall over. That their eyes will actually become glazed at times.
Is there a point at which we should take our pet to a professional or a vet? At what point would we consider that?
That's a very difficult question, and not being a veterinarian, that's not an easy question to answer. But my thing is always that when in doubt, make a phone call.
Great. Good advice. Thank you for that. I want to talk about leaving them in cars. I know there's a new law that allows individuals who find a dog in a car, if the windows are rolled up, they can actually legally go ahead and break that window. I know we've discussed this issue before. You told me last time, really, you should just try and find the owner of the car. Do you still stand by that?
Yeah, it's much easier. Call us, and if we have to take the dog out, we can do it safely. I'm happy to say we haven't had any injuries from anybody taking a dog out of a car yet. But dogs are territorial. They'll protect the car. They could be the friendliest dog in the world, but you put them in the car and they become very, very defensive. So I just don't think everybody should run up to a car window, throw their hand in and say, okay, I'm going to take this dog out.
Interesting. I never would have thought of that, to be honest with you, Charlie. But, as we know, cars heat up really fast.
Yes.
So even if you think, oh, it's only 70 degrees outside, I can leave these windows open, that still could be harmful.
It sure can. In 10 minutes, the inside of the car will be average of 89 degrees. In 30 minutes, we're talking over 100.
Wow.
The longer the car sits, obviously the hotter it gets. And also, for instance, if it's 90 degrees out, we're talking 109 degrees in 10 minutes and over 120 in 30 minutes.
Wow.
It's not only the car that has the heat and the sun, but also the parking lot.
Oh, that's
You
right.
know,
Because
so-
that concrete heats everything up.
Yeah, by putting a car in the shade, partial shade, what have you, does absolutely nothing. And leaving the car window down 2 inches on each side does nothing at all. Doesn't change the temperature in the car at all. What we do when we arrive is we actually have a thermometer, digital reader, that we take the inside temperature of the car. And if it's an extreme situation, we will remove the dog.
Yeah. Important. It just really makes sense to me that just if you're going to leave your vehicle, don't take your dog with you, right? Is that what you'd say? Not do it at all?
Well, I encourage that companionship, and I don't suggest that we leave them home, but if we're just going for a ride, that's one thing. If we're going to go do any errands whatsoever, then we should leave them home.
Great. So if you're going to go in a building, you're leaving that car for any amount of time, really just leave that dog at home.
Yeah, it's much easier. In fact, I like to leave my dog in the basement. It's always cooler there, and I put a fan on, or I run the air conditioners. Or on an extremely hot day like we've had in the last few, I put the air conditioner on for the dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know. And in fact, when we pick a dog up in the van that's running at large and we don't have an immediate owner, I'm going to transport that dog to the kennel much quicker than I do normally, just because I'm not going to have the dog in the vehicle.
Right.
Even with the air conditioner, it can be extremely difficult in the back of a van.
Interesting. You know, how long, I know a lot of us, we let our dogs outside, we'll put them out in a fenced-in area. Should we worry about length of time outside?
I believe that under the common sense rule, we shouldn't leave them out there either, even if it's shady and what have you. I know huskies and a lot of labs, they like to dig a hole and go underneath the deck and everything. And it's probably very cool in them situations, but it's still not a good idea, because when dogs overheat and we're not there watching them, they can recover, but there's going to be a long-term effect on that dog's disposition. They will all of a sudden start peeing in the house and things like that. It's just not a good thing. Fresh water, always. In fact, I put ice cubes in my dog's water. And now, under Massachusetts law, a dog cannot be tethered outside longer than 5 hours anyway. And if there's an opportunity that the weatherman says we're going to have a thunder shower this afternoon, you cannot have that dog outdoors at all.
Wow, interesting. Good to know that, Charlie. Thank you for that. What about ticks? You know, when we think about fleas and ticks, summertime seems like a really good time to get a tick. I think we've talked about how prevalent ticks are here on the Cape and Islands. We should really make sure we're treating our pets with tick prevention.
Yep, there's Frontline, there's Advantix, there's Seresto collars. In fact, I think quite a few of the vets now are suggesting the collar as well as the tropical application. The ticks are very, very severe. Heavy this year, and my vet personally recommends that.
Interesting. Both like that.
And for prevention, on top of the what we put on the dog, it'd be important to keep the grass down, leaves, piles of leaves, eliminate them. That's where ticks will be. They don't necessarily have to be passing by. The wind will blow them around as well.
Good to know. Take care of those leaf piles surrounding your house. We all have them. We just
Yes,
need
we
to
do.
take care of them. You know, I want to talk to you a little bit about some skunk issues in town. I don't know about you, but I have been noticing the presence of skunk in a not so fun way around my house. Do we have more lately? Are we seeing more skunks?
Population has certainly rebounded tremendously. We are seeing more baby skunks this year than ever. It started to be very heavy on the north side about a year ago, 6A north. Now it seems to be all through the town, with the exception of Hyannis. I haven't seen too much in Hyannis, but we're getting calls constantly for skunks in window wells. And it's very simple to take care of it. You take a board and put it in there, add an angle that is not too steep, and they'll climb out on their own when it becomes a little cooler. And what have you. We will take them out, but as a suggestion, it's just easy to put some screening over it. and then you don't have to have that problem at all.
Yeah, it would prevent that from happening.
Correct.
If it does happen, they can go ahead and try just angling that board. Maybe the skunk will go out on its own. If not, at that point, they could call you guys for
Yeah,
help.
we'll take them out,
Awesome.
and hopefully they don't spray. You know, we'll look at the situation. If a skunk is really agitated, I'll leave it alone and come back several hours later.
Maybe we'll wait till it's a
Well,
little
we
bit
let
more
it cool
calm.
down and calm down, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Charlie, for stopping by today, telling us everything we know about how to keep our dogs and pets safe in this summertime heat, and also why we might be seeing a few more skunks around town. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Our guest today, Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis. Now let's find out what's happening around town in today's community calendar. You can enjoy live music at the High Arts Artist Shanties every Saturday evening. Every Saturday, a different local singer-songwriter will perform for the Love Listen Local series. This Saturday, you can hear Jim Decatur, who will be performing classic pop rock. So head to Bismore Park this Saturday evening at 6 for some great free live music. The Recreation Division is teaming up with the Cape Cod Art Bar to host a family paint night next week. Attendees will get a canvas and paint of their own and will be instructed through the painting process. If you plan on attending, you should be prepared to get a little messy. The paint night will be held Friday, July 28th at 6:15 at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center in the Shepley Room. The cost to participate is $38. You can visit capecodpaintbar.com to sign up. There are no board, committee, or commission meetings today. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be back Monday with another great show for you. On Monday's show, we'll chat with Director of Senior Services, Madeline Noonan. We'll talk with Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Kristen Harmon, and we'll find out what's happening at Cape Cod Community College during our conversation with Communications Director Michael Gross. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.